So, first of all, we have to say that we are in front of Rory Best. Over 120 international games with Ireland, over 15 years in Ulster. It's a big pleasure to have the chance to talk to you here today.
Oh, thank you.
So, how would you define your career?
Look, I think my career, I hope, was defined by the way I played and the longevity, by my ability to keep playing, keep changing as the game changed, for me to figure out how I could change, how I could be better, how I could stay ahead of everyone else. And ultimately it was the enjoyment. I loved it right up to the very end of the World Cup in 2019. You know, it was about enjoyment. The enjoyment made me stay out a little bit longer to practice my skills, to work on bits that I needed to work on, and that's what keeps me involved in rugby.
You even made it to captain not only Ulster, but also the one that, in my opinion, is the best national team in the world, that is Ireland. Yeah. What about that? That's.
I think when you grew up in Ireland, and we were a very big rugby family. We used to go and watch my dad play, my uncle play, my grandfather loved it, and I had two older brothers, and we were always going to Ireland games, and to eventually play for Ireland, then captain Ireland is one of the greatest achievements that we've ever had. And then, you know, the captain is one thing, but then to be captain of a team that wins and is successful and, you know, had big milestones along the way, is, you know, that's what the dreams are made of. That's why all the young kids start off playing rugby at sort of 4, 5, 6 years of age, that they dream of playing for their country, they dream of captaining their country, and they dream of winning in their country's jersey.
So I presume that it's always difficult to say goodbye, to stop playing. How was that moment for you?
I think because I was so old and I played for so long, it was almost, I didn't want to walk out, and I didn't want to walk out at a quarter-final of a World Cup. I wanted to be a final, and obviously potentially a winning final, and that's the dream. It wasn't to be, so the disappointment of losing a quarter-final, and then there was a little bit of just get me off the pitch. You know, we've clearly lost. There's also, you look at the stresses. You know, I don't have to deal with the stress anymore. I don't have to deal with the media pressure, the public social media pressure. You know, the pressure of having to perform in a team that's expected to perform. But like, ultimately, it was sad. I think you get the ovation probably more now. When I look back at it, it means a lot more to me now. At the time, it was so nice for my family. They sacrificed so much to allow me to play. So for them to be in the crowd in Tokyo, whenever you got a standing ovation, for them to understand on a world stage what all that sacrifice meant to so many people around the world, was incredibly special for them, and now I have all the videos to look back on.
So now you have made the shift from the pitch to the benches, and well, tell me, how did this happen, like Fiji?
Yeah, I think the coaches are based in New Zealand, and they couldn't get out and back in again, and Joe Schmidt phoned me with Simon Raului, the Fiji high performance director, and said, look, we'd like you to come along and do November. And I'd kind of been dipping my toe in the water a little bit, doing a little bit of the Ulster Academy, and when the Ulster Academy coach left, there was no real want to have me there. I was getting busy, I didn't have time, and then this came along, and it's given me a real opportunity. I'm very grateful to Fiji to go to jump in at the deep end. You know, this is international rugby, this is a quality team, and to coach, and it's very different to being a player. So it's kind of been a very steep learning curve for me. That this last week has seemed, on one hand, like it's been 2 or 3 weeks, on another hand it's went like that, and you're trying to get all the information out and trying to build a bond with the players and all the stuff you don't think about when you're playing.
And well, I presume that this is your first experience in Spain.
It is my first experience playing rugby in Spain, and look, I think it's been a really good week for us. You know, we've been really well looked after. You know, the liaison guys have been brilliant. Everywhere we've went to train, you know, we've had people coming to watch us, and I think it's great. I'm really looking forward to being in this environment and having, it'll not be playing for me, but it'll be that same buzz of playing an international game in front of thousands, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 people in a cauldron like this. It'll get you going again, and I'm really looking forward to it, and really looking forward to the challenge that Spain are going to bring, especially from a from a forwards coach point of view, they are a really well drilled team, and they like that physicality, so it's a big challenge for us.
Maybe it is one of the toughest moments to play rugby, or even the sports world has been pretty fucked in a sense with all the COVID pandemic. But well, it seems that things are getting better now, and at least like last week against Italy was the first game of Spain with the crowd into the pitch again. So yeah, I presume that we will have around 500, 600 people, 1,000 people here, 6,000 people here. So that's going to be a nice environment as well for your first international game as well.
Yeah, it is, and that's what you want. You want the atmosphere, and it's great to see that you talked about the COVID and no crowds and the games cancelled, and it's great to see international games back on. It's great to see crowds back at games. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and it's going to be a really, really big challenge for us. And it's one that we know that if we're not right up for, and if we're not really in the game and really focused on the performance and the physicality around the performance, that this Spanish team is a strong team, and it is an exciting challenge for us.
So how would you say that it differs, the Rory player from the Rory coach?
I think you probably, as a coach, you're trying to give over a little bit more control. I was someone as a player that liked to be in control, so the performance of the team, you can set them up a certain way, but once they get on to across the white line, it's over to them. Whereas as a player, it was nearly you were set up, and once you crossed the line, it was how you played, so you could influence directly how the performance and the result would be. Whereas now, when we get to 4 o'clock tomorrow, it's over to the players, and you can just prepare them as well as you can and hope that they deliver.
And I'll finish with this one. This is your first step into international rugby. Maybe someday we will see you coach in Ireland.
Look, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to enjoy the next just over 2 weeks and see where that goes, and see if I want to get myself back into rugby 24/7 again. And obviously it'll be a family decision as well, because they've quite enjoyed having me back at weekends, and my mind focused a little bit more on family and not 100% on rugby.
Thank you very much.